Police and prosecutors rarely talk about the inner workings of the Oakland County Child Killer case, but tonight, in an exclusive interview, one of Oakland County's top prosecutors is responding to allegations in a new book about the decades-old case. 7 investigator Heather Catallo has that story.
Between 1976 and 1977, 4 children were abducted, held for days, and later murdered. The killer, or killers, became known as the Oakland County Child Killer. Now, 44 years later, the case still has not been solved. And it's finally clear that a lot of false information has been publicized over the years.
It's absolutely horrible to see that families have to go through this.
Paul Walton is the chief assistant prosecutor for Oakland County and oversaw the county's involvement with the case for years.
So what we try to do is strip the case back down to the very basics. We contacted all the original investigating agencies. We requested their assistance.
11-year-old Timothy King was the last known victim of the child killer. Because his body was left in Livonia, Wayne County has been part of the case for years. A new book about the murders chronicles the perspective of a Wayne County detective and that prosecutor's role in the case. The Snow killings even alleges that Oakland County obstructed the case in recent years.
Did your office obstruct this case?
No. In fact, this office went through and we did a complete review of all the forensic evidence. I understand that that wasn't done before.
In the last decade, the King family helped discover one of the most promising leads, a 4-time convicted pedophile named Christopher Bush. Bush allegedly killed himself in 1978. The King family and the book's author allege Oakland County prosecutor Jessica Cooper treated that lead and the King family badly.
From the get-go, the Oakland County prosecutor discounted the Bush lead.
Could it be Bush? Yes, it could be. Could it not be Bush? Could not be too.
Did this office kill that lead?
No, we explored that lead.
Walton says misinformation and assumptions made over the years have hindered the case. For example, when an investigative report authored by a Wayne County detective described bloody ligatures found at the Bush suicide scene, Walton says Oakland County discovered there was no blood on those ropes.
What we did is we actually found the state forensic examiner who conducted that investigation, located him in Chicago, sent an investigator down, interviewed him, and said, "Did you know what you were looking at?" And he goes, "Yes. And my report says that there was no blood on this ligature."
Here are other examples of misinformation. The car often associated with this case, the Blue Gremlin, is likely the wrong suspect car. The 7 investigators were the first to report years ago the real suspect vehicle was likely a Pontiac Le Mans or Tempest. Also, the suspect sketch made back in 1977 is not of one person. It's a combination of various suspect descriptors rolled into one.
So you've got kind of this lore that is created around this. And when you start delving down into the facts of the case or the evidence, you see a lot of misleads or missteps.
Walton also says it's not even clear if all 4 children were abducted and killed by the same person. At one point, information was made public that gold carpet fibers in the victims' socks tied the cases together, suggesting they were all held in the same home. Walton says that's not true either.
So they didn't all match one location or one carpet.
We can't say that they came from the same dye lot, can't say it's the same manufacturer, can't say it came from the same location. All we can say is they are the same color hue.
There is a form of DNA evidence connecting the 2 boys, the first victim, Mark Stebbins, and the 4th victim, Tim King. A mitochondrial DNA match potentially ties 3 hairs found on the boys and inside a car that belonged to Arch Sloan. Sloan is a 78-year-old convicted pedophile serving a life sentence. The hairs don't match Sloan, but he did fail a polygraph about the child killings. Walton can't comment on that, but can say he wishes the case could be solved.
I wish we could turn around and say tomorrow that we can point to one individual or someone's made admissions.
And we're back live with 7 investigator Heather Catallo now. Is there any real hope, Heather, that this case will ever be solved?
Well, hopefully there is a lot of hope that advances in DNA technology could make a difference, but you have to keep in mind the genetic material involved in this case is very, very old, and it's not that kind of slam dunk DNA evidence you think of in a modern homicide case. It's very different, but there is hope that advances could help it, and the families believe there is still somebody out there who knows something, and they are ever hopeful that that person will eventually come forward with what they know. Dave?
Heather, thank you. Very long time ago, but that pain never leaves. Carolyn?